here we are on this glorious day. I'd like to welcome everybody, especially this beautiful guest right here. Want to introduce yourself real quick for the folks?
My name is Jessica, also known as Roz Plus One, all summer 2022.
All summer 2022, going into
2023 as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to assist my friend in asking some of these questions that the internet is interested in hearing from them. So
absolutely, and I'm humbled because I wanted to bring Jessica on because not only is she queer, if you didn't know, kind of queer as fuck.
Slide in my DMs.
If you're a masc or trans masc individual that want to get tricked on. But also is very fluid, not only with this conversation, but just with platforms in general. So thank you for assisting me with this. I appreciate you.
I'm excited that you're finally listening to me and doing stuff online.
I'm definitely finally listening to you. So the purpose of this conversation piece is because y'all niggas be DMing me a lot. Y'all really be DMing me. Y'all got a lot of questions. I know my top surgery and my experience, my journey with this, not only was a shock to a lot of folks, but also has been rewarding and healing for a lot of folks, including myself. And I think there's a social responsibility when you do care and you do want to invoke change in the world, that you share these experiences for the growth, the development, the evolution of everybody alike. So that this is my piece, is giving back, showing y'all niggas why I ain't want to have titties no more. Because a lot of y'all niggas don't want to have titties either, and I get it. So we here together, tittyless and free, or thinking about it, or about to be. That's right. So
all I'm thinking about is how I wish I could take my bra off right now.
I mean, you should. Free the fucking nip. See, I once started off similar to Jessica, where I want to take my bra off too. And I started to. And that freedom, the hashtag free the nip, I don't really know when I started, really supporting that movement. Mm-hmm. But it was I just felt like, my titties weren't as big as your titties.
Yeah, that's the thing. My titties are really fucking big. So the thing with that is, like, I feel like people are more caught off guard when I don't have a bra on. It's not just like this cute vibe of like, oh, like you're giving a little, no, like I'm knocking niggas out.
Knocking them out.
If my bra is off, these girls are girling.
And they
swinging and banging. Yeah.
Because it's restricting.
It is. It's uncomfortable. It's hard to find the right bra. And then it's like it constricts you. It's like it's just not comfortable.
I think we sexualize and glamorize titties so much that when somebody has the audacity to say that their body part is uncomfortable, people are like, what?
Right.
What do you mean? Because that's like the first thing that people would say with like cis folk when I was like, oh, I'm had top surgery, I'm taking them off or whatever. It was like, what? But you have such great titties. But they're so this. I would kill to have titties. And well, go kill to get some titties in, bitch. But what does that got to do with everybody's experience is different. So just like I might not like mine and have like a B cup, you might not like yours either.
Right.
And if you wanted to get them removed, it shouldn't matter, right?
Right. I just kind of want to see what they do when I actually lose some damn weight.
What the world's gonna do?
At that point, no, my titties.
Oh, the titties going, because
my titties are gonna
the
do.
titties going too.
If they give like a little bit of, I don't know, I have no idea. I haven't thought that far into it. Do you know what I mean? Right now, I just know that I don't like wearing a bra. But this is not about my titties. This is about your lack of titties. This is about
everybody's titties and lack of, first of all. This is an equal opportunity titty conversation and platform.
If you're watching this video, every time that Mia Ross says titty, you have to take a shot.
Take a shot. I'm almost gone.
I know, you're almost.
Back to the titties.
Right.
So, again, this conversation piece, after my top surgery, a lot of folks had a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of masc identified females that are not trans, to be honest with you. Because a lot of masc folks don't want titties. And, I get it.
I know. Like, I sleep with a lot of
mask folk.
Mask folks, and like they like literally won't take their Nike sports bras off. I'm like, I want to see the titties, but they don't.
Do you get to see the titties sometimes?
Sometimes, but I can tell that even if they start bouncing, that they're get uncomfortable.
I just got uncomfortable and I don't even got none no more.
Yeah,
bouncing titties is such an overrated and.
But I know a lot of people that are mask presenting that find that. I mean, even people that don't identify as trans that would like, is it binding? Is that the proper word? Yeah, they would bind. So yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah, so I'm a little older, and this conversation is newer as far as being such a, you know, I would almost say like maybe I'm being naive, but in our community, like a household conversation nowadays. Back then, we just wore 2 sports bras. We wore 2 sports bras. We weren't ace bandage and shit. Well, I wasn't. But yeah, so I wanted to go over a few questions that folks poured in, and there was a lot of questions. So we're gonna try to cover as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
We're before, like, whatever happens first, intoxication and questions. So whatever gets out first.
Or heartburn. Okay, yeah. So I also think it's important to note like your intention for the video. Like you've done a really good job at being consistent, like on social media over the past couple of years, and like building up a very specific audience. So this is like not just something that you're hopping on a mic or hopping on a camera and trying to like proclaim out, even though that would be fine. You have like a group of people that are super interested and tapped in with you and are looking for this information. So just big ups to you for like creating that community and creating a place for people to even get access to like this kind of information. So I'm excited to ask you these questions. And yeah, as always, I am excited and nervous at the same time about the things that are going to come out of your mouth.
Because this is unadulterated, this is raw, uncut. You know what I'm saying? We doing it for the 99 to the 2000 motherfucking. We can cuss, right? This is going on YouTube, right?
This is, yeah. I need to put this on Do Not Disturb, but ironically, it's you that's texting me that's making that sound go off. That's how delayed those texts were. All right, so is there anything else you want to say, or are we going to go ahead and hop into it?
I do want to say that I'm not a medical professional. So this is my experience and from my research. I definitely suggest that anyone navigating top surgery definitely seek professional medical advice, because this is a life-changing situation. And not only that, you have to be qualified to even go down that path. So if it's something that you're thinking about, I'm just here to assist with more resources and more information. But at the end of the day, do your due diligence and take care of yourself.
All right, let's hop into it. So I have a list of questions from people, followers and supporters of Ross. We're going to start off with the first one that says, "This is so amazing that you're doing this. I have had the hardest time with consultations and deciding on good doctors. I decided on NB top surgery sometime back and would love if you could share your doctor's information so I could do some research. I've always thought you look amazing." Black heart emoji.
Thank you. Firstly, I went through my insurance, which I went through private insurance, and my doctor only works through Kaiser Permanente. So if you have Kaiser Permanente in Southern California, that is a possibility. Her name is Dr. Kim, and she's out of Woodland Hills. That's as specific as I can give you. When I went to Dr. Kim for my consultation, I went in blind, because when you're going through a private insurance, unfortunately, you don't get to see what other niggas' chests and titties look like before. There's not a book where like, oh shit, I want one of them with a little bit of that, and I want to look like. It don't work like that. Versus if you're actually paying out of pocket, you can see doctors' work, previous work, and I know a lot of folks go that route. So that's just a little bit of information that if you are going the insurance route, you're more than likely not going to be able to see their previous work.
So would you say that if you go through the route of like being out of pocket, that they treat it more as like a plastic surgery experience opposed to like a medical necessity or something like that?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. It's still cosmetic. It's 100% cosmetic.
Okay.
So
what do you think plays the difference in being able to see the doctor's work?
I think confidentiality. I think when you're with in network and with insurance, folks don't want people to, you'd have to get like, you know, people to sign off on that.
Okay.
And they're not just, she was very upfront about it. She's like, because I was like, you know, can I see? And she's like, no. She's like, but I promise you I'm the best. I was like, okay, Dr. Kim.
Yeah. Literally my approach selling anything online. I like Dr. Kim. I can't show you, but
I'm the best. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Love that.
Now wait a minute. I said something important real quick. I said it's 100% cosmetic. That's not necessarily true. It was 100% cosmetic for me. This surgery was a gender-affirming cosmetic surgery for me. For me, it was no different than a woman getting a breast augmentation or anybody else adding or taking away a secondary sex organ or anything of that nature. I know for a lot of trans folks that this is more than a cosmetic. This is affirming their identity, their livelihood, their life, their everything. And that is a difference between myself and maybe a trans man or somebody that experiences that. Whether I had titties or not, I'm still that nigga bitch. So like, I don't need titties or not need titties to still be that nigga bitch. I just want to put that out there.
I'm gonna have to look up YouTube's terms and conditions for nigga bitch for you.
All right.
I'm gonna. Okay. So the next question says, does insurance typically cover the procedure?
For my experience, yes. It's under transgender services. If you just were to go in like, I want to get my titties chopped off, probably not. You got to be pretty strategic about it. And that's what I say. You should do a lot of research. But through Kaiser, it is umbrellaed under transgender services and is 100% covered.
I love that. Kaiser is a great insurance.
Kaiser's the shit.
Okay, the next question that I have here says, many folks have opted for procedures like a hysterectomy, and doctors give patients hell in making decisions over their own body, often not agreeing to the surgery. Do people who opt for top surgery encounter the same resistance from medical professionals? Question mark.
From my personal experience, I did not, but I have definitely heard other people's experiences where they have dealt with prejudice. They have encountered resistance. And it's interesting. I know one particular person, they were waiting to get a psychological evaluation because that's what's needed before you can actually get approved for the surgery. And the practitioners kept on pushing it back. And they were frustrated. They reached out to me, and I literally was gonna like reach out to the practitioner. That was gonna on their behalf, because at a certain point I'm like I said, there's a responsibility, and then they were in their community, and I was like, well, what's going on? I need some accountability because this person is been on this waiting list for a consultation to get the exam, and you guys aren't even putting it on paper. Something sounds foul about this. What's the problem? Yeah, especially in the Black community, especially where, you know, resources for medical is already contrived. It's already hard enough to receive medical and seek professional help.
Right.
You know, so there are ways around it, but if you are navigating without insurance, it probably is tougher.
Okay.
Honestly, not to say that it's impossible, but it just means that you got to work a little bit harder to get what you want.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't really think about like how many different like variables play into going through the process. Like you even have people that are stepping in your way outside of like your own friends or maybe family, people that are supposed to like love and care about you. You also encounter like the same discrimination or prejudices in
it's a power
the actual
thing.
Medical office.
It's really a power thing,
yeah.
You know?
How have family, friends, and associates received you following surgery?
You know what? I think people were initially shocked because I never really talked about having top surgery with anybody when I think about it. When I went for my psychological, not even that. I'll just tell you how, like, I just started researching. I just wanted to know. I don't even know what happened, honestly, because I was free the nip, always taking pictures with no shirt on, no tit. I always just like whatever. And that's why I said it wasn't really like a revolutionary like moment, or like, oh my God, I need these titties gone. I'm not gonna be able to be me. No, it wasn't that. It was more so like, I'm tired of this little button right here on my shirt bunching up when I wear my clothes. And it just bothers me. And I really don't associate with titties.
Yeah.
I don't have any sensation in my nipples. I already breastfed my son 13 years ago, which is what boobs are made for. I know you perverts can't imagine that, all right? So why do I want this? Why do I want these? Wait a minute. My job would pay for me not to have this? How is it any different than these bitches getting boob jobs?
Right.
I did get a boob job, bitch.
Right.
I got a boob job. I got a nigga bitch boob job. You know what I'm saying? And people were shocked.
Right.
Yeah, I had two really close friends of mine not know what to think or say. And they said some things that made me feel uncomfortable. And I had to have a sit down with both of them and have a conversation about language. Everybody got really sensitive. It's like, bitch, I just had the surgery. I'm the one in pain. Why are you being all hypersensitive? You're making me feel uncomfortable now because you're not treating me the same. You don't know what to do with me now. And I'm like, damn, when did like a physical piece of your body become a manifestation of who you are altogether? I'm still the same raw. I just ain't got no titties. And it wasn't that big to begin with. You're not missing shit, bitch.
And also, I just can't imagine. I mean, I've met you without titties, but I can't imagine why people would react that way in comparison to the way that everyone is so like loving and caring and kind about everyone filling up their lips with filler, fucking putting huge asses on their body and whatever, like do whatever you want to, but we've normalized turning ourselves into blow-up dolls, like replicating literally fucking the Kardashians. And that's normalized and that's received more well than someone just being like, I don't want these anymore.
Again, it really comes back to power.
It's wild, yeah.
It comes back to power. The moment you start empowering something that's not feminine.
Yeah.
I mean,
anything that doesn't support what cisgendered men would be attracted to, right? Facts. So it's everything that's playing into supporting and uplifting the patriarchy. Like, it has nothing to do with who you want to be as an individual person.
Not at all.
It's insane.
How dare you not have titties for me, bitch?
Right.
You might be gay, but you still got titties. What?
Right. So the next question is, what are some common misconceptions that people have about those who make the decision to have this surgery?
That you want to be a man necessarily, and because I'm gender non-conforming and fluid, that's not my experience. I get that a lot. I get the guys think it's an insult to be like, you still look like a woman. I'd be like, thanks.
Right.
Kind of am. Kind of. Catch me tomorrow.
I'll be like shocked sometimes. Like, sometimes we'll literally be going to do something and I'll be like, oh, you're giving really mask energy. And then the next time I'm like, damn, I should have beat my face. What the fuck? Like, you fucking slaying right now. What the fuck?
Catch me.
So,
it depends on the day.
It's really the day that you're being caught on.
The next one that I think is a misconception.
Yeah.
Is that this shit's easy. This is the most complex, painful shit. This shit was more painful than having a child. This shit was god awful, okay? I didn't even have drains like a lot. If you got big titties and get them removed, you usually get drains. And they're not even like necessarily big, but I had a B and I was fortunate not to have drains. I hear those drains fucking suck. You're talking about complications, infection. You're literally sucking all the fat out of your chest and reconstructing your chest. It's almost like a two-part shit. And then if you're gonna get the nipples put back on, the nipple graft. And then they're shaving your nipples down. If that's what you're looking for, which is, we can talk about that in a second. But that's a whole nother surgery on top. And so you see people that have like really inflamed nipples and, you know, the surgery scars if they're not going through the keyhole process. They say, oh, you can be off work for 2 weeks. How, Sway? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I couldn't even lift my arms. You can't even take a shower for like the first like, I think you can't submerge in water for like the first like week or so.
Okay.
Like keeping a binder on, get elevated so you don't get blood clots. Like it was hell. I want to say that I didn't stop receiving like phantom pains almost until a year after I had my surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, even when me and Issa first met, I think I was just like about 4 months in, still in a lot of pain.
Damn.
A lot of pain. Like, so it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, this is something that you want to do. You definitely need a support system.
Right.
You need at least one person that is going to be down for you for a few months at least. Your friends, you need a positive support system. You can't even have this surgery without having somebody take you, because you are going to get put under, and you have to have somebody responsible
to drive you home.
Yeah, so there's no Ubers, there's none of that. Like, I know it's lonely, it can be lonely out here for a lot of trans and gender non-conforming folk, and that's why we do have to make sure we are community for each other. But you can't do this as alone. It's literally, you can't. Yeah. Another thing that you need, which is a misconception for the situation, or maybe not, is you need more money than just the surgery. You're gonna need, if you don't have insurance, you're looking at about $10,000, anywhere from $7,500 to $15,000 for the surgery. And if you don't have insurance, I'm sure they make you probably pay a large portion of that up front. Then the time off work.
You're missing money.
And if you don't have that leniency from your boss, or you don't work for yourself, or have that privilege or luxury to work from home, you're gonna need money to take care of yourself, because you're not gonna be able to work right afterwards. One other misconception, this is usually a misconception from straight people, this is the thing that I hear the most from straight folk, is that you're gonna regret it, which I think is hilarious. Or that you need God. Or that you're sad and depressed and you're a poor soul that's mutilating their body. That's all trash. So I promise you, I've never regretted cutting off my titties. Matter of fact, I'm sure somebody in Guam has my titties right now, and they probably don't regret me cutting them off either. And somebody in Singapore probably has one nipple while somebody in Borneo has the other. So it's like, we're all happy. There was never a regret. I'm cool.
Right.
You know? I don't know why people think that. You're gonna regret it. No, bitch.
People love to tell you what you will and won't regret. So, Where did you find information, resources, and support going through this process?
The internet.
Yeah.
Internet.
Pretty standard.
Kaiser. There really wasn't very many people to ask. I didn't know anybody that... No, I knew one person that had top surgery, but we weren't friends. Well,
Okay.
I've seen them from afar, and they had top surgery years ago. But as far as like, you know, this, I didn't have this. I didn't
Right.
So, yeah. Internet, it's a best friend.
Love that. All right, so you kind of spoke to this, but is there anything else that you would say about the healing process and any recommendations that you would give to other people that are considering going down this path?
Yeah, no, save your money up, support system, and there is something I want to say.
Yes.
So I wrote this down when I was actually navigating this process for myself. I journaled a whole lot. I journaled the first 60 days of my top surgery, and then I just stopped. But you're not defined by your body, and top surgery is definitely not a means to give you a sense of self, right? It's not needed to self-identify, and it cannot solely heal you. It alone will not make you feel whole, and it won't fill a void. It's something that you should think about gravely, and you do need to have support. And like all surgical procedures, it's deeply personal. And for me, it was the process of aligning external body with parts of my internal body, but also completely cosmetic. So it wasn't deeper than I just wanted to look different. If it's something deeper for you, again, that is something that you will want to have a discussion with a medical professional about, because there's a lot of psychological choices and effects of any type of surgery that can affect you. And I just want to bring these 4 points real quick, because when I was researching top surgery and my idea, I had this idea of how I wanted to look, right? And I was like, I don't want to have like a guy chest necessarily, but I don't want to have boobs, but I don't know what that looks like, because I'm not trying to be a guy, which is why I didn't have the nipples put back on. And a lot of people ask me that, why didn't you put the nipples back on? Again, because I felt like if I were to put these nipples that were cisgendered female nipples on a chest that's been reconstructed, I'm still trying to fit a binary. I'm still trying to say, hey, this is what I'm supposed to look like, because this is what men look like. This is the only picture I have in my head about a flat chest and nipples, and that didn't fit with me. Secondly, I haven't seen too many nigga bitches that the nipples look right. I don't know if this, again, is a power thing. No, hear me out. I don't know if it's a power thing because doctors just don't care, or I just cannot for the life of me understand why so many folks' nipple arrangement does not look the way they expressed they wanted it to look.
Right.
Do you know how pissed I would have been if I chopped off these fucking titties?
Yeah.
And then you fucked up my nipples?
Yeah.
And then was like infected and all that. And I already don't even have nipple sensation. Like, I would have been like, what is you doing, bro? Like, you don't even like nipples.
Right.
Nipples are a construct. I'm just saying. Nipples are a construct.
I also feel like it's a matter of access too, right? Because I will say that the trans mass people that I've come across that have had top surgery and have kept their nipples, the ones that have had nipples that looked, I'm trying to say this the most proper way, that look the most well done, in my personal opinion, are people that had like a shitload of privilege and access to money. So I know that they were able to spend a shit ton of money to get it done.
Like anything in life, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing with like implants or BBLs, or
I'm gonna go to the best if I want somebody going to do something that meticulous. Like, I agree. Yeah. And access is crazy. And
especially if, you know, you're someone that's like having a top surgery with the intention of like feeling like you're more passing. Like, I feel like something like that could really fuck with your mental way more if you come out on the other side and it's like still not what you envisioned or what you asked for.
It's crazy to go through that process and to still have body dysphoria. Like, and I've heard that.
Yeah.
So, to me, nipples are a construct. For me, as being non-binary or fluid, I didn't feel the need to place nipples or to shave my nipples down. It just didn't have the same aesthetic for me.
What was something that you didn't know that you wish you'd known about the process?
Okay, this is real. This psychological evaluation will make or break if you get approved. This psychological evaluation will make or break if you get approved through insurance or just in general to get top surgery.
Do you feel like they intentionally make it like difficult to...
I have nothing to compare it to.
Right.
But I know that some of the questions on there are unfair and can definitely... It just felt unfair for people of color or disenfranchised groups. So if you're looking to, have this surgery, you got to be 100% sure. I think if you struggle with any mental illness diagnosed, it may be harder for you to be approved. It may be harder for you to be approved if you've been diagnosed with depression. They want to make sure that they're not liable in any way for you to hurt yourself or harm yourself if you have this operation procedure. I don't know anybody that regrets it,
right?
But yeah, they ask you if you've been incarcerated.
Interesting.
Yeah, they ask you, like I said, if you've ever had suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Ever attempted. And so if there's anything that might trigger them to think, and that's the grace between like my psychological, this was the grace of God. She's no longer with us. She actually passed right after she approved my thing, which is very crazy.
Wow.
She was a gift from God. She was like, how many times have you been arrested? I was like, hell yeah, girl. She's like, how many times? I'm like, girl, I don't know, like 20? She's like, I'm not putting that. I swear to God. She was like, I'm not putting that. I was like, is that gonna stop me? She was like, we're just not gonna put that.
Right.
She was down, she was white, she was Anglo, and she was a breast cancer survivor.
Oh, okay.
And she showed me her titties. She didn't have no titties. She was like, I got 3D nipples. If you want to do 3D, I know this is off the record. Don't tell nobody I did this. She flashed me. She's like, don't they look real? I was like, they do, bitch. That's so weird. And she wasn't even queer. She was just down as fuck.
Yeah,
Cool as
I love
shit.
that.
Yeah, I had favor. I don't know exactly. I'm not gonna say if you're depressed, you're not gonna get approved. I don't know. But I know them questions had me feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I will say that I felt judged.
Because of the fact that you have done something like have top surgery, which I know is a lot of other people's experience, but it doesn't fit into like that same way or same reason that other people have done it for, especially like trans masks individuals.
Yeah.
Like, have you had kind of like any times where people have expressed to you that they don't like the language that you use, the way that you're describing your own personal experience, anything like of that nature?
Yeah, I think because I am just so open and all-encompassing, it's kind of hard to like pinpoint and get mad, and also because I'm black. It's like the trans white folk will have something more to say than the trans people of color, because the trans people of color are like, oh shit, like you're marginalized as fuck like me. You're black and you're other queer. I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone. You have the right to say what you want. But like trans Anglo folk, yeah, I've had people literally tell me that me being non-binary is I'm definitely transgender. Like argue with me or try to just persuade me into understanding their idea of what trans is, non-binary. Mind you, I have a master's in psychology. Okay, like let's just go there right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get my PhD. You're gonna call me Dr. Raw eventually. So with that being said, like I'm really acclimated with the DSM. I'm acclimated with sociology, with gender, with dysphoria. I get it, which is why I never tell anybody what they are or what they aren't. That's not my place. But people don't, a lot of trans folk don't like me saying me being non-binary is not me being transgender. They do not like me saying that if I have a spectrum of this and this, and I say cis is right here, and I say trans is right here, and if I say I am non-binary, which is right in the middle between cis and trans, they will not accept that. They say, no, that non-binary falls under transgender, not in the middle. And I can say, you can suck my dick. That's what I can fucking say. Suck my fucking dick. You can't tell me who the fuck I am, who the fuck I'm not. Suck my dick. And you probably want to know what it looks like, but guess what? You gotta pay for that. We're gonna do an OnlyFans soon. Me and Jessica, we're gonna fucking rock your world. So if you wanna come suck the fucking dick and find out if I'm trans or non-binary, jump on the OnlyFans and we'll make it do what it do. It's gonna at least be $25 a month though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now.
I'm gonna be eating cupcakes in lingerie.
She's gonna be eating more than cupcakes. You won't know what that more is until you
subscribe. what was the surgeon working with before? You're so thin. I would imagine that you were a D or smaller, but you said that you...
Damn, was that a good thing? Are they coming for me? Am I hungry looking?
No, they're saying that you're so thin, but then they also said that you had D cup. A D cup is huge, right? I don't know. I think I have like F cups. Literally, my breast is the size of your head. If I took off my bra, I would be able to sit it on top of your head.
Again, you will see that content on the OnlyFans. I was a B. I was a 32B.
Yeah.
And I was an A all my life. The B didn't come until after I had my son. The boobs just kind of got fuller and, you know, as I got older. But yeah, I was a B. I don't know if this is what's going on presently, but when I got my top surgery,
right,
because I didn't identify as a trans man,
yeah,
it actually was a little interesting to navigate. And I only know this because how dope the doctor was, because she was like, so you're not trans. She's because, and these were her words, rest in peace. She was like, I have to put this in a very special language, otherwise they will not approve you to get top surgery without you being on testosterone. Because typically with trans men, they make you have to be on testosterone for a year before they will allow you to have top surgery.
Right.
Which I think is completely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you are having gender dysphoria, now you're about to transition and go through puberty as a boy.
And that fucks with your emotions and your hormones even more.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you know how pissed I would be to have these titties and still be like going and maybe having to be on testosterone? And I told him the only reason that I got through it, I was like, I don't want to be on testosterone. And she was like, this was then. She was like, no. I said, I'm never gonna be on testosterone. That is never gonna be definitively something that I want to do. I just don't want any boobs. And she was like, okay. And she was able to prove it. Yeah. But it was a conversation about being gender fluid and getting top surgery and not being on testosterone.
Was the surgery before you had your child? And if not, how old was he and how did you explain it to him?
I had my son first. I had my son in 2008 and I had my surgery in 2019. My son and I, we have a very open, communicative relationship. We talk about everything. So, you know, I think there's times that, like, he hasn't said shit in a while when I walk with no shirt on. He hasn't said shit anymore in a while because he really doesn't care anymore. But one time, we used to be like, Mom, I mean, I'd wear like a cutoff, right? So like, it'd be like a side boob would be out, but there's no boob or nipple, so which is kind of confusing. And he'd be like, Mom, I mean, yeah, it's hanging out. I'm like, what's hanging out? And then I'll just take the whole shirt off.
Right.
And he'd be like,
the last question.
Thank God. Tired of y'all niggas.
It says, what are your thoughts on nipples / no nipples and how did you come to your decision? Yeah.
Because y'all doctors suck.
Yeah.
You literally can do like in Russia when they did like the first like head transplant or some shit.
That's insane.
Something wild. But y'all niggas can't get an areola right?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Nipples are a construct to me. I use my nipples for what they're used for, but also, like, fuck me. Like, I never had any nipple sensation, so like adding them back just sounded like a clusterfuck. And I mean, I donated them. So I donated them. I don't know if you heard about the nipple bank in Borneo. I'm pretty sure they're like in one of those little hazard. Like, can you imagine what they look like? Like shriveled up nipples.
Jesus, like little pepperonis.
Little pepperonis.
Yeah.
Might be a thing for somebody.
It's definitely not for me.
We'll be like, why didn't you keep them?
Issa said crunchy chips.
Issa's disgusting.
This interview is fucking over.
Issa's fucking disgusting.
I'm done moderating.
She said that my clit was as big. I do have a healthy clit. I'm just saying.
I mean that.
It's husky.
I'm into it now.
Let's make some outtakes real quick. Like just like for like.
First of all, we can 100% do that, but there are plenty in here. But thank you for sharing your story and being transparent.
Was that a play? Was that a double entendre?
Yeah.
You fucking with me? Do you think I'm trans?
I am always confused about what you are. I just know that you just be vibing, so I just be vibing too.
Real talk. Would you consider me transgender?
Yes. What it is that you're so fluid in the fact that you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I don't care what you call me. Do you know what I mean? I try my very best to say they, them when I'm talking about you because I know that you're non-binary, but I also don't feel like I'm gonna freak out if I say she, her, right? You're the first person that I've been able to like have around my daughter where I'm able to like comfortably have conversations when we're on the way to like have like, they're like, hey, like it's okay like if you call Raw like she or her, but they're non-binary, so call them like they, them. So I refer to you as non-binary because that's what I hear you say the most. But then it's like, you had top surgery, check. Like, you literally are on testosterone. The testosterone is where I was like, okay.
Me too.
Yeah, when you started doing testosterone, I was like, oh, okay.
It started that right there was kind of like that. I was like,
I think the other day we were having a conversation about the gym that me and Issa went to, and you're like, would I be able to go there? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like there's just, like, you're very fluid. Like, it's just, you're you. And if there's a day and time that you're ever just like, hey, like, I want to only, like, I'm more comfortable with this, like, that would just be what we're going with. But I can't tell, like, whatever you are, because I feel like you don't say it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm very vague when it comes to certain things. I'm very vague when it comes to my baby daddy.
Hello.
I'm an open book, but I'm a very private person. Like, Jess, you were literally, like, the only person that's ever been in our place.
Right.
When I say that I have family members that never met my son, and my son's 14.
Right.
Like, so I am very private. I've sat with myself and my own thoughts about this before, because just like you, we're being vulnerable. You're like, I think I'm a little like, projection with me. I'm not a lesbian, but then like I'm like, doing lesbian like things. That is not the case with me. I do not like trans folk, and I'm not trans. So,
right.
With that being said, I'm microdosing on testosterone, and for me, I've been microdosing on testosterone for over a year.
I was about to say, it's been like a year.
It's been over a year. Like, is the jawline any more defined?
I mean, the face card has never declined already, so it's already been.
The only thing that's really changed is my clit is huge.
Hey.
Like, I know I'd have a big dick.
Yeah.
Like, I know if I was a guy. My voice has gotten deeper.
I can see that.
A little few hairs here and there, nothing crazy, but I'm also using the gel. I don't know if that makes a difference. I'm not intravenous.
What is the gel?
It's just literally a gel I put into in my shoulder.
Oh, okay.
That's topical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
okay.
if we're shooting up, we're getting high. You know what I'm saying? So like,
right.
I'm not doing. I could never see myself doing. It's never that serious. When I found out they had a gel, I was like, again, it's like gender affirming, because, okay, me being on testosterone gel, my testosterone levels still might be lower than yours.
Oh, they definitely are. I can give you 67 reasons coming out of my chin right now.
Your testosterone level
is insane.
Might be so high, it might be more than some men. Naturally.
Yeah.
So if I take tea and I'm still within the norms of whatever a woman's supposed to be, for me, it's just for certain effects. I'm so excited for Jessica's coming out video, guys. I am so excited for this. We're sharing this with you.
Live and direct.
That's also going to be on the OnlyFans.
If you're not subscribing to Jessica's and I queer trans...
shit, the camera's about to die. Look, that little symbol. I was like, what's on there?
I'm just trying to say as much ridiculous shit
We're
as possible.
perfectly timed for the camera about to die. That was perfect. That was divine
Jessica's
timing.
trying to go home.
Speak your last words.
Titty, titty, titty. It's all about titties. Lack thereof and more than you want. All right, I love you.
I
appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
I'm sure you got something, right?
No, we're so good.
Like
you.
before, all that was for nothing, and it just shuts.
What if it didn't record?
It did.
It did. God. And I was like, if it just died.
Why would you say that?
Right.